Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to Full Mana Journalist. Make sure I got that name right. Jamie, aka Keldon, aka Shivan Haven, here. We got Lofter over there.
It's me. So, we have some stuff to talk about today, almost exclusively about Microsoft. But to start with, what have you played this week?
Marvel Snap.
And now you see why he has his own show and also an entire segment.
Yeah.
I started Stellar Blade, which is actually way more fun than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a derpy haha booty game, and it turns out like I can't even notice the booty with all of the crazy ass combos happening. It is ludicrous, and I love it.
Booty and ass. I like that combo.
It's streaming right here on the channel if you want to watch it. A lot of nights. And we also started V Rising. We talked last week about the full release finally came out, and so me and the boys started playing that. Which you're welcome to join us, by the way. We have an open slot out of 4, and it's on a dedicated server, so you can pop in and out wherever you want.
Sounds good.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, V Rising and Stellar Blade, and of course Marvel Snap as well for me. But yeah, I guess let's just jump into the new stuff.
Helldivers 2. What's going on with that?
So, there was a controversy that has kind of been resolved. Sony's trying to inflate their PSN subscriber number count, and so they were actually going to require Helldivers 2 players to have a PSN account in order to play Helldivers 2. And people were not happy about that, because there's also like dozens of countries around the world that can't even have a PlayStation Network account for whatever legal reasons or what have you.
Yeah.
So, people were pissed about it, and they started review bombing Helldivers, and Sony finally reversed track on that, but they're still like doing it. There's another game coming out
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yep, that's it. Ghost of Tsushima or whatever is going to require. Do what? You did it, yeah.
So, quick side note: we're trying not to touch our face. I don't know if that first part's going to be cut out that we talked
Probably.
about. We noticed a lot of face touching, so I'm going to start mentally counting.
Lots of face touching. See,
already told you the lube's on back order. Anyway, so yeah, Ghost of Tsushima's coming out, and that was going to be another one that was going to require the PSN.
It's still going to require it, as far as I've seen.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So when we get into Microsoft here in a second, just keep in mind Sony ain't much better. You've got something on here about a YouTuber named Noclip, which I don't know anything about this.
I'm really excited about this. So Noclip, and we'll include a link to his channel, I am a huge fan of. So it's been a few months ago, but he's acquired thousands of hours, decades worth of footage of video game content that took place for like E3, many of the overseas events that was never really like converted into good like HD quality. So some of the stuff, like if you could even see it on YouTube, was like in very low resolution. And so we're talking like E3 2001, 2002, 2003 stuff that has been brought back to life. So he has a whole like thing going on right now. He just hit his 100th video where he's taking these like old school like VHS tapes, DVDs, like Hi8 recorder tapes, and converting them and uploading them to not only YouTube but also the Internet Archive website as well.
Okay.
And so completely free. They do work off of like an ads, or not really ad supported, let me rephrase that, a donor supported system. So if you're into that type of thing like me, you can donate to the cause, and that helps him buy like new equipment, because some of this stuff is like on film, like old school film, like think 35 millimeter film. Even. So that requires a lot of time and money to convert stuff over. So I just wanted to like share that, because it's really exciting, and the fact that he's stuck with it, he's just hit his 100th video. That's awesome to me.
That is actually really cool, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, now I'm informed about that. I'm just going to complain a little bit as a YouTuber / content creator. Hades 2 Shadow dropped on a Monday night. I had plans. I was going to play Stellar Blade. I still played Stellar Blade, but I did like a quick let's play of Hades 2 like in the morning at 7:30 a.m. because I happened to be awake. I like it when games shadow drop, because it just takes a lot of confidence. Like, when you know your game doesn't need fanfare, you can just put it out and people start buying it. That's good news. As opposed to having and it also feels like the game's ready. Which, I mean, it's still like a early access game, but it's not like they had a hard release date of May 10th, and then they had to push it out without it being completely finished and patch it later.
Right.
This is just, they were like, we can show this to people, and then they threw it on Steam, and then it sold like hotcakes because Hades is rad.
Yeah. Yeah, I played that on whenever it came to Switch. That's when I picked it up. It's a lot of fun. So
Yeah, I like I said, I played about 45 minutes, and it's already better than Hades, and Hades was rad as hell. So
yeah,
it's gonna be good stuff.
I need to pick up part 2, but I, as mentioned before, I'm the type to wait for stuff to go on sale. So that's what we'll probably do.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's a budget game already anyway. It's not full
Yeah.
price, so you actually probably be better off buying it during the early access because they'll jack the price after the full release.
Yeah.
So that's something else to keep in mind. I mean, it may go on sale and stuff again in the future, obviously, but usually when a game's in early access, especially if it's like Hades, you know it's going to be good. It's best just to go ahead and grab it.
Sounds good.
Um,
A couple of Nintendo news items up next.
yeah. So this one's actually a tweet. It effectively it's just Furukawa, the president of Nintendo. He's saying they are definitely going to get some Switch 2 information out sometime this year.
Yeah, so basically, it sounds like we'll end up getting a Nintendo Direct at some point. It is visual year, so it doesn't mean like before December. So I'd have to actually look up and see like when their years like start and finish. Like for example, a lot of the companies I work for, like they don't close their year out until like April, which I know is kind of weird, but yeah, it could be something like that. But honestly, I think it will be in 2024, probably the second half of 2024, and then
The announcement or the release?
the announcement.
Okay.
Release isn't going to happen until 2025. That's my guess. Just knowing and living and breathing Nintendo all these years, my guess is probably they'll announce it around like October, and for release for March.
Okay.
Would be my guess. So
Well, and just curb your expectations. There is a Nintendo Direct next month in June, but he has firmly stated there will not be information about the Switch 2 then.
Yeah.
It will be at a later Direct when they talk about it. So
one thing that'd be interesting with that, I know we've seen this numerous times with other releases. Take Face Touch number 2.
I'm like 3 in, man.
Damn it. Anyway, a lot of the later release games for like whatever the current system is, so obviously we're on Switch right now, tend to become like pushed back and become launch titles.
Yeah.
Or you may even have like a co-release, like with the Nintendo Wii when that first came out. The Legend of Zelda that came out with that also came out on GameCube, which is kind of funny because like obviously people want to gravitate to the newer system, so the GameCube version of that specific Zelda game ended up becoming like stupid rare because no one hardly bought it. So
well, and that's another thing too, is you can kind of I expect that the Switch 2 will launch with a dual pack of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
that would be interesting.
I 100%. I mean, bare minimum Tears of the Kingdom, but I have a feeling it'll be like a remaster Breath of the Wild, and then also Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
So that's a thing. And then this next one actually had some controversy in the Discord for the Dope Trope, which is my Discord.
Go for it.
The Nintendo World Championship NES Edition. I had some people say that it was a greedy cash grab. And a lot of people were very unhappy. It's like they were almost acting like it was a mandatory purchase. Like if you don't buy this, you're not going to be able to play that on the online stuff. I don't know. It was a really weird take. And shout outs to Shin and Haven. You both had this take, and I disagree fully. And I'm going to talk about it. But basically, the Nintendo World Championship Edition was a old NES cart that was very low produced. And it was effectively for tournaments. And there's like double-digit copies of each version around the world. There's actually a cool AVGN
There's
episode on it.
the gold version, which was handed out to the winners, and then there was also the
There's
editions
like
that they
14
played.
versions of the gold or something.
Yeah, it's like a really low number, and then you could get a copy of what was actually used during the tournaments. Unfortunately, I was too young at the time. I wanted to do that, but yeah, I have friends that did it. I'm actually friends with the original world champion on Facebook, so I've chatted with him quite a bit.
That's cool.
And so,
wasn't he in the commercial?
Not that one. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the way they did it. They had like winners in different age groups. So he was like, his name's Thor Acklin. And so I forget what age group he was in, but he's got maybe like 5 or 10 years over on me. So he's like probably teenager back then. So
Gotcha.
the guy on that commercial, I think he was younger, if I remember correctly. So
yeah, I mean, it's still cool though, because I mean, of course you can emulate any of this stuff at any point, but like being able to own a copy of it, I mean, it's literally like owning a replica of an old like World War II gun or something. Like it is, whether or not it's the authentic original, it is an officially released version. It's just very important for gaming preservation, gaming history.
Well, what I like about it too is it is an upgraded version because if you played any of the other, I'm trying to think of what they were called. My mind escapes me, but there was other like competition carts that they released for the like the Nintendo DS, and so you were playing just like parts of the older video games. So all they really did was rehash that and
Hmm.
just call it Nintendo World Championship. Because what you could do with those, you're going to be able to do with this new one is upload your scores online and compete that way.
You can also play multiplayer, like say, a couch co-op too.
My assumption is what they will probably end up doing because they did do revamp versions of the Nintendo World Championship. Like I want to say 2015. I have a shirt upstairs from it because I did attend it and sucked at it, by the way, but I attended, so I was happy to say that. And so my assumption is what they're probably going to do is they're going to take like those higher scores and potentially reach out to those people for live events again. So this is kind of an easier way for them to say, hey, submit your scores by playing the game because this will allow them to also double check for cheating. You know, if anyone's using like any sort of like cheating device, you know, plugging into like a computer somehow and doing some AI, whatever with it, they'll be able to rule those people out and then send out like legitimate invites, which I know it's a controversy with some of the earlier championship games that they had. So
Yeah, and so two of the last things I want to talk about with that is number one, the reason there was like the big reason it was like I guess a controversy, on the Discord or whatever was because the Shin was like, I could just buy the full copy of those 12 games
oh
or
yeah,
even
totally.
emulate them or even play them on the like they weren't understanding the significance of the release. And the other thing too was that it gives me like Tetris 99 vibes and
Oh
stuff.
no, it's so amazing.
A lot, like the way they were presenting the mini games, and possibly even going forward will be stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
and you get the cool little reproduction cart and all that stuff. So there's a lot of reasons to pre-order slash buy that outside of just, oh, this game looks fun. Because I mean, realistically, unless you're like a 55-year-old dad trying to get your teenage kids to play old video games with you, it's not that exciting in terms of gameplay. It's just exciting in the terms that it exists.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, totally optional. You don't have to buy it. I don't even recommend buying it or not. I'm just saying it's cool that it's. I'm not even gonna buy it.
I'm gonna buy it.
I'll play it with him. Maybe we'll
I
do a let's play of that.
I told my wife, this is all I want for my birthday this year. Like, I'd be happy if I just get this and then just give me like a couple days to like jam out and
Yeah.
eat some good food, and I'll be happy. So,
Like I said, I'll definitely come over. We can record a let's play or something.
yeah,
Make it
that'd
make it
be
a little
fun.
thing. Uh, you put something on Capcom sales. Sales are boring to me, so I'll let you handle that one.
I'll make this short and sweet. Capcom, essentially, they have broken record over record the past few years, and so a lot of it does equate to. I know you went on a lengthy conversation about Resident Evil
Hmm.
last episode. Monster Hunter obviously is an insane like property for them.
And
You
they've
know,
got a new
then
one coming out.
yeah, exactly. And then of course, all the stuff with Street Fighter going on, but this is mostly just kudos to them because net sales like they're up 21% year over year. Like that's insane. Because if you think about it, this is a company that's thriving during a time of what we're about to talk about later on with Microsoft, where you have all these other companies that are just laying people off left and right. So I just wanted to highlight something good before we get to the negative. So that was really my goal there. But just been a big fan of Capcom all these years. I know you have as
Hmm.
well. So like to share love when we can.
Yeah, they had a
Um,
bald spot like in the mid 2010s, but they've really come back
oh
with a
yeah,
vengeance.
yeah. Because I think with that, something that's very common with the Japanese culture is typically like whenever you finish college and you join a company, you're with that company for life unless there's like some drastic changes. And so there were some drastic changes during that time period with Capcom. So we had some folks, from that era, they decided to leave, even with some of the elders, and start like different production houses.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all I had for that. Just wanted to share that. And then the next one, I'll take that one too. Not very video game related, but I'll spend like 2 minutes on it. MeTV, if you're unfamiliar with that, that's one of those channels that you can get over the air. They're launching a new channel called MeTV Tunes. So MeTV is going to have like old school cartoons. So like stuff that we grew up with in our age groups, but also beyond, like going back to like Flintstones and Jetsons and stuff like that. So this actually branched off of an idea. So it kind of reminds me of how Toonami first formed, because Toonami became just like a pipe dream of like two guys, right? And so eventually that blew up. So MeTV was running Saturday morning cartoons.
Mhm.
And so that's like turned out to be like their most popular thing. They decided to do a whole new channel based on it. So
Okay.
I thought that was cool.
That's
So
cool.
24/7 channel. It sounds like they're going to stream it over their website too. And then if you have services like Roku, Pluto, etc., they're working with them to release it free on those services too. So
That's cool. It'd be great for if you have kids so they can watch the stuff you used to watch.
yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. Anyway,
Just in slightly non-direct gaming related news, but same general ballpark. It's kind of non-news, but there is a Legend of Zelda movie in production, and Wes Ball, which is the director, has affirmed his love for the franchise. So whatever that means, I mean, like I said, it's almost non-news at this point because we kind of knew there was a Zelda movie.
yeah,
I didn't know there was a director and stuff, or that it was in production or anything.
yeah,
But
because Miyamoto talked about it a while back.
him saying he's a Zelda fan, I mean, what's your favorite Zelda, bro? How many rupees are in Zelda's castle? And you know what I mean? Like, how big of a fan is a fan? Because that's important. Like, does he think Zelda's Link? Like, I don't know this guy.
Will we get the Legend of Zelda rap from the old
I
80s commercial?
hope so.
It's Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad.
Oh, I remember. The 90s. They did things.
So I hear Sony's out of control.
Oh my God, Sony. Listen, y'all. So there's a quick section on Sony, and then I think we're going to be to the Xbox stuff or the Microsoft stuff. This is kind of what we were talking about earlier with the Ghost of Tsushima and whatnot. I'll just read you the tweet, honestly, straight up. Thank you very much for choosing the pre-purchase Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut through our store. Due to an issue beyond our control, this is actually a tweet from the Ghost of Tsushima director. Due to an issue beyond our control, the multiplayer modes in Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut will no longer be available to play without linking a PSN account, and unfortunately, your region is restricted from creating a PSN account. And then it goes on to say they're going to refund everybody who pre-ordered it in those regions. Again, this is Sony shooting their foot. No, they're like skinning their foot to graft skin onto their hand or something. I don't know. They're losing sales and doing refunds to inflate their PSN numbers. It's so stupid.
Yeah, that's the ongoing theory is they're just trying to pump those numbers up for the PSN.
It's the only explanation. It makes no sense. They're literally losing money for no reason other than why?
Without like having insider knowledge, I don't get it either. Like my assumption is they're trying to just create a standard, and unfortunately, they're doing it after the fact. So, yeah, I got nothing.
All right,
Microsoft.
Oh God, Microsoft. Okay. So you've probably all heard at this point, since it's been all over the gaming news realm and everything, Microsoft shut down a bunch of studios. Let's see here. They shut down, I don't have the list right here. I have to go to a different article. This is the tweet I'm looking at. But Tango was one of the studios they shut down. Tango was the creator of last year's Game of the Year contender, Hi-Fi Rush. Much like Hades 2, it shadow dropped one day in February, and it was an amazing game. Great music, great gameplay. It also had like copyrighted like official music and it had a streamer mode, so it also had like in-house produced music that sounded pretty similar to the tracks that they were replacing, but still, were safe to use on YouTube and stuff. So
can we talk about the tweet that Microsoft sent out after?
Oh yeah,
the layoff.
Oh yeah. I guess I can go to that
favorite part
first. Which one of that was?
I might have sent it to you in Discord, but in a nutshell, and I'm sure this was some marketing person that was completely out of touch with the situation, was promoting like how much they loved Hi-Fi Rush and we need more games to be released like Hi-Fi Rush the day after they did the layoffs. Like, how tone deaf can you be?
And keeping in mind that they were pitching Hi-Fi Rush 2. They could have had another Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
And if they would have promoted it, it would have gone even better.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush got no fanfare, no promotion. It's just like, I wake up one morning and I start scrolling Facebook, and all of a sudden I start seeing articles. It's like potential Game of the Year shadow drops overnight, and I look it up and I play it and I stream it, and I'm like, God, this game's amazing. And it wasn't my Game of the Year, but like it definitely deserved to be one of the contenders. Yeah.
Good times.
And then Microsoft basically put out a statement or in a meeting being like, we need more games that are smaller titles with big ambitions. They basically said we need more Hi-Fi Rush, and it's so frustrating. But that's like only the beginning of the story. So the next article is from Tech for Gamers, and the title is "Making Great Games No Longer Keeps You Safe from Closure," says developer. And it's just going on about how developers, and this has been happening a lot this year in general. I don't if there's as a YouTuber slash streamer slash game dev that I really like, Chara Lanazard, I think is her name. She talks about this a lot because she's in the games industry and she's constantly watching her colleagues getting laid off from all these companies.
Yeah.
And she's had to cover it a lot this year, and it's such a thing because these companies are making record profits, but then they're closing other companies. Be like, oh, we're reorganizing, when really what they're doing is they're spiking their stocks. They're like, okay,
Paying
well,
back the shareholders.
yeah,
Very common.
exactly. They made, then these aren't real numbers, but like just saying as like example, they made $1 billion last year, and now they're like, oh, well, this year, to be successful, we have to make $1.2 billion. How can we do that? Well, we didn't make enough in sales to cross that goal, so let's lay off a bunch of people, and then we get to have that money. And it's so toxic and it's so dumb. And then to have the gall to do stuff like that after things like Baldur's Gate 3 coming out and Hi-Fi Rush, like I said, Game of the Year contender, and all these really good indie games coming out, and people like Thor making Heartbound, like all these amazing companies and developers making really good games, and these games doing massive profits. And you have stuff like we talked about one last week with Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah.
That company laying
Take-Two
off
Interactive and Rockstar Games.
Yeah, them shutting down all these projects and stuff, even though they're literally about to release a multi-billion-dollar game that, while I'm sure they spent a lot of money on it, wasn't multi-billion dollars. So, I mean, it's ridiculous, and I'm so sorry to these developers, and it's honestly turned me off from wanting to develop stuff. I've been trying to figure out how to make a game for a few years now, and I definitely, obviously, will never work for a big studio. So if you are interested in making a small indie game and you want to work for a small development studio in your free time, I've got a couple of really good ideas that I'm trying to get out there. It's hard, though.
We need a bell for self-plugging, don't we?
Yeah.
Ding, ding.
Yeah, leave a comment down below if you're a game dev and you want to just make something that somebody else had an idea for. There's not really a market for an ideas guy in most places. It sucks.
That's funny.
I'm really good at thinking. But yeah, that's most of the Microsoft things. It's just it's so annoying.
It really is. Let me see. Wow, we kind of barreled through.
Oh yeah, so going back into that. There's this other quote that I posted.
Okay.
This is not a Gamer Pass thing. They said in the email, teams let go had no upcoming games planned for the next 5 years, which the next part of that is where I'm at. They were pitching Hi-Fi Rush 2, so that is something I fully don't believe.
Right.
They did not close those game studios because they had no games planned for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush 2 was planned, and it would have come out within the next 2 or 3 because they already had the engine. All they have to do is collect the music and make the game. But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Hi-Fi Rush is being review bombed now. Or maybe the opposite of that. I don't remember exactly. It seemed like almost people were like spiking the reviews rather than bombing it. But
okay.
Either way, people are making their voices heard everywhere they can get their hands. And it's probably too late to save the studio. Because, I mean, those devs have already scattered to the wind putting in other applications. But, I don't know. It's so frustrating.
One thing I'll be interested to see is independent studios that will form from this. Because this... I won't say it comes and goes in waves officially like other industries, but I mean, there have been small like spurts in the gaming industry where this has happened. And one good thing to come out of it is the folks that choose to stay in the industry go out and kind of form their own thing. And we've gotten some really good studios out of that. So I'm hoping maybe we get that again.
It's hard though. Like I said, because I've been trying to, like I said, I've been trying to like get a game, get it something going for a while now. And unfortunately, with me being not rich, the only thing I can do is try to find volunteers that are okay with the idea of maybe making money someday off the game.
No one wants to do that, though.
Exactly. But like that's what you have to do.
I got mouths to feed, as I say.
Yeah, but like that's what you have to. That's what a lot of people do. They develop games in their spare time. I mean, that's what
Spare time is the key.
Yeah. So, but you have to find people that are willing to do that, unless you have the money to pay them effectively a year's worth of wages. So, and the reason I bring that up is because it's hard to imagine a lot of these developers going and making their own studio because they have to have funding for it.
It happens, though.
It does,
Yeah.
but like not for all of them. Maybe
I didn't say
10.
that.
I know, just 10-20% might get to do that. What he was saying, but the rest of them are just like, what do we do? And we don't know if they're under NDAs right now. Which doesn't matter soon enough, but right now it could affect them.
Yeah, it depends on how the layoffs took place because, there's severance packages involved with stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
All right, cool. The only thing I had on docket, I have the full-blown Marvel Snap episodes, but just a quick update on that. New season dropped this past Tuesday, so Blink is the new season card. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, that's actually episode 1 of Marvel Snap. And then some of the other episodes that I'm working on that will be releasing soon is essentially talking about the psychology behind like creating decks in the game, because there's different deck archetypes. If you're used to playing stuff like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, etc., you probably know where I'm going with this. So dedicated a longer episode to that alone. So that'll be episode 2. Then episode 3, since it is a mobile/PC game and it does have a marketplace of its own, just kind of talk through like what, at least from my perspective, makes sense as far as, what should you buy, in Marvel Snap, because there's season passes, there's gold passes, there's these spotlight things that you can purchase. So dedicated a short episode to that too. And then if you're interested in that kind of stuff, just be on the lookout for that. Let me know if you have any other ideas. The goal is eventually just to do like one of those a week. Probably would drop on Wednesdays is what I'm thinking, since the weekly changes take place on Tuesday. It gives me a chance to kind of consume what actually changed, what new cards we're getting, and then Wednesday I'll do a recording to go up probably later that night is my guess. So.
Yeah, and the algorithm has not been kind to the series so far, so go check out just go to the channel and you can see the thumbnails with him on it if you're interested in
we're a small but rabid community.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're all over Discord, we're all over Twitch, but YouTube, it's not quite as predominant.
It's I want to go into my favorite deck right now so bad, but that's not the time for this. It's the news show.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's all the news we have for this week, outside of Microsoft and Sony both just absolutely crapping the bed in every possible conceivable way. It's been a mostly quiet week in terms of news. So
yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, of course, likes, comments, subscriptions, all that good stuff help out a bunch. Again, check out Jamie's show. Also check out, I have reviews and guys on the channel. My 100 Heroes review is actually in editing right now, so hopefully it'll be out tomorrow.
How many episodes are you up to now?
Of what?
Just in general, like you've been
on
recording for years now. Yeah.
Oh, over 1,000 easily.
Sorry, we're ADHD time.
Yeah, no, it's over 1,000.
So I was talking about Noclip's project being 100, and that got me thinking just now. I wonder how many you're up to.
I mean, I could check for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been at this. Yeah.
Wow, seriously.
1.2K videos.
Wow, I didn't realize that was a high. I thought you were gonna say like maybe 500 or.
No.
Wow.
You got to think I stream every day.
Oh yeah.
Plus, like just the last series alone that I did, which was the guide for 100 Heroes. There were 9 episodes, plus the review, plus the all character combo video thingies that I did. So I mean, that's 11 videos off of one game. Not to mention the 14 streams. So they stack up quick when you're doing it regularly. Yeah. But yeah, so I have 1.2 1,200 videos on the channel to watch. So go watch a couple.
Just a couple. You may have a couple out there. Critics say he has more than 5, but less than 2,000.
It's true. It'll be 2,000 someday because I don't plan on stopping. I love doing this. But yeah, all right. Yeah, deuces, dummies.
See you later. I'm going to go watch Joe Bop now.